I just rattled off a list of immediate questions facing our nation and the assault on the norms that we used to take for granted. But to show you how widespread the attacks on policies and agencies that have been hallmarks of America for generations, including administrations both Republican and Democrat, I give you USAID. Now, until late January of this year, the U.S. Agency for International Development used to provide life-saving aid for development assistance in about 130 countries. An example of the critical services it provided included getting babies emergency feeding in Sudan, building and supporting treatment centers and training health workers to fight TB in Ethiopia, helping people in Ecuador get access to clean water, and the list it goes on and on. For 6 decades, the U.S. has led the global fight against HIV, cancer, malaria, cholera, and malnutrition, and in the process saved countless lives and built a deserved trust and goodwill for the world's superpower. Now, the work wasn't just do-gooding. These programs created resiliency, not just dependency. 11 of our top 15 trading partners used to be recipients of U.S. foreign aid. It also did more than just treat diseases. When caravans were finally allowed into Gaza, it was USAID who provided and distributed the life-saving food, water, and hygiene products. When Ukraine's power grid was repeatedly bombed by the Russians, it was USAID who helped them continually rebuild those systems. It also became a symbol of American character. Since World War II, until Trump, every president, right and left, used his inaugural address to champion foreign aid because it championed the idea that we were a country that believed in decency and generosity. Alex Popp, who until recently worked for USAID, said the following, and I quote, "By eviscerating USAID, Trump and Elon Musk are redefining what it means to be American. Musk thinks empathy is ruining Western civilization. We need to ask ourselves if we want to be seen as small-hearted or generous. Do we want to be known as a nation that cares about those in need, a nation that does the right thing because it is the right thing? Or do we want to be known as a transactional country, willing to betray our long-standing allies, inflict intense suffering on the world's most vulnerable, and embrace those who trample human rights? Who are we as Americans?" End quote. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every dollar allocated over the last 6 decades was spent perfectly. But I do know that USAID represents less than 1% of our federal budget, and we have received a tremendous return on that investment. But if Trump and Musk really were about addressing waste and mismanagement, which I don't believe for a second, then they would have actually done the work to see which programs were working and which ones were not. That's not what happened here. In a single day, every staffer was told to stop working immediately. Every dollar choked, even for work that had already been completed. It is fully expected that hundreds of thousands of new infections and deaths from pathogens like malaria, polio, tuberculosis, and HIV will be the consequence. Doctors, nurses, social workers, and others who help mothers have safe pregnancies and deaths and so much more have suddenly gone without even time to coordinate another backup plan. We are abandoning people without warning. This is the image of America that Trump and Musk have chosen to spread. So I ask you, like with so many other developments as of late, is this really making America great?